Wake up, buyer payer people. It's a beautiful day. Go grab yourself another cup of joe and say hello to Jim and Michelle Rhodes on the Buy Here Pay Here morning show. Take it away, you two.
Guess what, everybody? It's Friday.
Friday.
And
it's the morning show.
And I better put us back in this thing here. Hold on. Say hi.
Oh, here we are.
We're dressed and the stuff. And so happy to Friday. I was thinking this morning as I was getting all gussied. I thought this is okay. And we talked about this last time. It's like, this is 75 hard for me.
Yeah.
And I'm like 5 days in.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job. What happens if you mess up? You have to start over and start getting dressed again. Is that the idea?
I'm just going to give it a percentage. She's 100% on.
Yeah.
She's 98% on.
Good morning, Fred.
Whatever.
So great to meet you guys at the event last week. Love what you guys are doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Side note, I mean, I'm probably have bags under my eyes today because, I didn't sleep very well, and
I didn't bring coffee to the desk.
I've got like what's left of my second cup sitting here, and I got out of bed about 4 and proceeded to catch up on the last 3 episodes of House of Dragon. So I watched it to the end. Okay.
So if you have questions for the morning show, then you can throw them in there.
I'm looking forward to the next season. Let's
Leslie
put
Hastings
it that way. Yeah.
Joined in this morning. Good morning, Leslie.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of that. And then one other thing is we watched we didn't talk about this. We watched the pilot for season 5 of Yellowstone. I was underwhelmed.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah.
Just waiting for it to ratchet up.
Usually it just gets so exciting and juicy. And it was just like, wait, now? No, not now.
Yeah.
What? There you go. So, yeah. I don't know which one I left off on here. I like to.
Yeah, that's all right. You can put them on.
Good morning. Good morning, George.
We have a great guest this morning. We always enjoy talking to Jared Halsted. He's waiting in the wings. Do we have any other announcements?
We do. We have got a couple of things that we wanted to talk about. Okay. One is holidays are coming up. We're still gonna do these live, I think, through the Thanksgiving, the Friday and all of that. So we should be for
really looking forward to Thanksgiving. I finally learned to save room for Pepto-Bismol in my Thanksgiving dining.
It's the pink shot.
That's right. Just save a little room for that.
So we got a couple of things. One is we mentioned before, we put out a poll. Earlier this week about what we name the dealer spotlight or the dealer. We're going to do these interviews. The vendor. Vendor. What we're going to name the vendor. Vendor interviews that we're going to on Fridays air them directly after the morning show is over. And that's in keeping with, we're staying agnostic and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be like a little segment after the show is done. And so we put a poll out on Boardroom and Success, and it was really interesting how the results came in. And so we've kind of decided that we're going to merge 2 of the favorite ones. And so it's going to be called Vendor Spotlights, the people behind the product.
Right. We're going to combine both.
So we're looking forward to that. The links, if you are a vendor or like a representative of a vendor. So we're only going to do 1 per company. If you're a vendor or would like to have your company do one of these interviews that we can air every Friday, the Calendly link will make live on Monday.
Right.
So and we're just going to do once a week for a couple of hours. We're leaving our schedules open. So be watching for that. That'll be fun. Also, we've put out, or we've completed kind of a tentative agenda for us for the first quarter of January for like what we're going to be doing with Nation TV and some things like that. And so there's some really cool stuff that's coming. We've got something coming in January that is going to be really limited to participants, and it's going to be great. It'll be intensive with dealers and like something that's going to go on for about a month.
So cryptic.
And we want dealers that are participate in that. You're going to have to sign a waiver.
You have to grant us permission to share the material. Nothing too sensitive, of course, but
all the
material
recordings
on our BHPH Nation TV track. So,
because it just may turn into a reality TV show. I don't know. We'll see. So, so that's one thing that we're going to be putting out there. We should have some stuff out there pretty soon about it. But we're also at the end of December, we're putting something together for like a dealer expert panel webinar thingy.
Right.
And so I'm trying to be cryptic still too. Topics, and this is something that we're going to do frequently. We're going to do it frequently, and we're like dialing in topics and stuff like that. So, just be watching for the calendar for, the quarter. We'll probably release that in the next few weeks or so for everybody to kind of see what it is that we're doing. And yes, Amanda, this industry needs a reality TV show.
Yeah. I've always thought, you get inside these dealerships and we've been there. We're going to start taking video cameras inside our work in 2023. We already have lots of great meetings recorded with clients, and just there's a ton of stuff that is out there that we find ourselves in the trenches and all the interesting stuff that happens.
So it's going to be fun, so be watching for that. We're gonna put out a survey about these like mini panel class things that we're going to be doing, and if you want, are we just going to post it on, are we just going to send it to, we're going to put out a survey. It may be to everybody, it may be just to a few people. We'll let you know.
We'll let you know.
We
want dealer feedback.
We want dealer feedback.
So a quick thing, Troy Shear with NIADA advises patience on Yellowstone. So I'm as patient as they come, Troy. So I'm going to hang in there.
I mean, I've enjoyed 4 seasons so far of the show, and it hasn't reached, because I couldn't watch Breaking Bad after about 2 seasons. It was dark. Like, it was too much for me. This has not crossed that barrier yet. It's dark in a lot of places, but it's not as bad. So
speaking of Yellowstone and the Cowboys, is it time to bring in our favorite cowboy?
Yes, it is. So we have our dun, 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 dun.
Those sound effects.
Hey, Jared Halsted, who is the president of the Arizona Independent Automobile Dealers Association, other as AIADA, right?
Good.
Okay, I got it right.
I'm always teasing her.
So thanks so much for joining.
I
do.
Got my AIDA shirt on today. There you go.
Logoed up. That's awesome. Oh, logoed up. We might do T-shirts for the morning show.
Yeah, we'll see. So we, Jared, we had a ball doing the conference with you guys out there in Chandler.
That would have been good for the reality show, the other party that was going on there, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Went in and got some real good people watching, done with a concert or a DJ
after party.
The after party, yeah.
So where's Jared? Who's this guy in the baseball cap from Amanda?
Yeah.
Not wearing the cowboy hat. I thought about it, but yeah.
He does have other hats.
Yeah, that's
true.
And
he's got a ranch. We've been having fun talking about the ranch. I grew up on a ranch, and Michelle, in a former life, she was off of the ranch by the time I met her. But she, at one point, with her colleagues at work, they voted her most likely to, what was it, Michelle?
Kill a chicken in a skirt. Me wearing a skirt, killing chickens. Because at the time, I was running a mini homestead, and I had chickens, and we had just butchered them. And when I went to work, I worked in a suit every day. And so at Christmas, they granted me this time. most likely to butcher a chicken.
Do you still have the plaque?
A skirt.
Yeah. You get a little trophy for that.
Yeah, that's right. So, Jared, we also wanted to talk about this leadership symposium. I mean, we got into Austin as that was wrapping up. We bumped into a lot of people in the hallways that were coming from the various states that had participated in that. And the word that we got was ton of great information.
Oh my gosh.
Like the drinking from the fire hose thing, ton of great information, but they definitely got high value in that. So you want to share how that came about?
Sure. A few years ago, we were going through COVID and reached out to NIADA, and we started having meetings. NIADA started bringing some, all of us invited us in from each state, the executive directors and state presidents or whoever from their board wanted to come to have talks during COVID. And that was one of the first real coming together of NIADA, which I'm now proud to serve on that board as well, and the states. And we started having meetings, and we showed up. I think we had it in San Antonio, Texas, was the post-COVID convention, and we had some presidents there that didn't realize the meetings were going on. So I was put as the chair of the President's Council and reached out to all the presidents of the state and started bringing us together. And what it did was it brought these presidents together from different, when we look at dealerships, for instance, I'm a small mom and pop shop, but we also have some really big ones. When we look at the Georgias and Carolinas, Texas, for instance, some of the associations we really focus on go, wow, we know they have good associations. Well, a lot of us are a little smaller. And when I became president, I didn't really know exactly everything there was. No, I think most of us that get put in these positions, kind of going with the flow like car guys do, fake it till you make it. And so in bringing the presidents together, we've kind of developed more of a 20 group for the association leaders, for your state leaders. And that way, as we bring up new and inspire new leaders to come up and volunteer their time and give back to the community or to the community of dealers, they can learn from others and some of the best in the association world and dealership world. I sometimes rubbing elbows with even you guys and everyone else. I'm still pinching myself wondering how I got here. So that's how it came about. And then in working with NIADA, they decided that they could help us even more by giving us a leadership symposium and basically teach the state presidents how to be better presidents and teach us all to work with our executive directors and to build our states associations and value of membership and things like that. So it was really neat. And it was absolutely one of the highlights of my trip, watching all of our states come together in that room and learn from each other and learn from the people there to grow and better serve the dealers.
So how many associations were represented?
That is a great question. There was a lot of us there because we also had, it wasn't just state presidents, but I'm going to say north of 14, 15 for sure we really have, there's 40 something states and I think 30 or 29 presidents because we've got,
Jared, there are 50 states.
We're still working in some of the smaller states are combined in that for NIADA purposes. But yeah, I think we had 14, 15 states there. It was just a great time working with everyone, seeing faces that we normally see on the screen and learning. It was a fantastic deal we had.
Well, I got to say a couple of things. I know that NIADA invested a good amount. They covered the cost of bringing those folks in, right? The flights to get them there.
They did.
That's a major investment.
Well, it's investing. It's investing in the association, and that's beautiful. That's really beautiful.
That's part of what they can do. That's part of what the national can do to bring it together. So, kudos to them. And by the way, we have some idea how you ended up in that seat you're in as on the board. You have a ton of passion for all of this.
One of the most passionate for buy here, pay here dealers that we know.
And I appreciate it.
Yeah, and of course, NIADA covers independent retail dealers as well as buy here, pay here. It's just obviously in the morning show, we don't know anything about independent retail over here. We're just here to talk about buy here, pay here. But that's obviously you're in that business too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I cut my teeth in just regular, indirect lending, back in '99 all the way up until I opened this place, and getting a buy here, pay here. There's no buy here, pay here school I could go to. And there's a lot more now these days, but you learn from other dealers. And, I've said it before, I didn't come from a family of dealers. I don't come from a long generational, not that I wish I didn't have that or there's anything wrong with that, is that when you join your association, when I was a young man getting this car business, some guys that are my age now took me under their wing. They saw something in me and they were all part of this association. And in joining that 3 years, I joined a family of car dealers. And so this is my opportunity to give back the same as others did. And the guys I was looking at who are where I'm at now when I was 19 are now where I want to be when I'm, in my 60s and retire and all that. So it's a great, just being a part of your association, whether it's state or national, whatever, the networking alone it's an education you can't get anywhere.
So maybe talk to me, because as you're going through that, I'm a former dealer myself, and most of us, we hope we know something about running a car dealership, but we don't know much about running any kind of a nonprofit association and how that whole thing works. And so you might just take us through it. Like if I'm somebody out there at the dealer level and I've got some time and I'm willing to give some, to give back, what is that experience like if I choose to step into leadership in my state association? I mean, you've got some officers, right? I've heard you talk about presidents. I'm sure there's secretary and treasurer. You've got your executive director typically, who's kind of, making the thing work. But really, you're there as advisors and directors, is kind of my understanding. What can you add to that?
Well, Jim, and you can attest this because you were in our Arizona show. We've got two kinds of boards. At the national level in some of these larger states, you've got associations that have mandatory education or a larger cash flow with bigger rooftops. And their association has an executive director and 1, 2, 15 employees, wherever it may be. In that case, you're teaching the board how to be advisors, how to go in and do the fiduciary duties they're responsible for on a board, financial stuff like that, and guide the staff in the best direction to better suit the needs of the dealers they serve. On a smaller board, like most of the states are, and you guys were there, that is your job 90% of the time. However, when you have events and stuff, and you guys can attest this, you're there to work. You're going to do a little bit of lifting, but it's not a hard job. And really, it's not much time that most people have to give, but it is giving back. And you have board meetings, depending on what your state does that. But it's networking, it's work on that. And it's really a great way to help others and network. And even the new dealers, I learned just as much from new dealers that are just in the game of, TikTok. I got to figure this thing out. I don't know if you guys are doing that yet, but apparently it's the new way to sell cars, but it's a great experience. And I encourage anyone that has any time or passionate about the business to get involved in their state association.
So at the symposium, then when everyone kind of came together, because we ran into people that were attending it, and they were walking around with these binders that were like 1.5 inches thick. Lot of information. But can you just give us like a brief synopsis of like what types of things were covered during the symposium?
Sure. Everything about how to have a functional board meeting, keeping things on track, on topic. It's really easy for us car guys, Jim, you and I do this all the time, to get going down the rabbit hole. And then your financials, things of that nature, but also where your executive director's duties are and where your board's directors are. Too often you get people that may get elected or vice versa that think they're in charge of X, and you want to keep people swimming their lane. So everyone's running parallel together and working together. If you start bouncing off each other, it creates ripples and problems. And then also growing value of membership. That was a big portion of it that I loved. Providing education, which you guys are great at doing, but providing education to your dealers. It's not, there is a large majority of dealers that sign up for associations because they get the auction punch card. We all love it. I love it. We're dealers. We want everything free and yesterday. So just about every state association, the value of membership right out the gate, dollar for dollar, instant dollars, is 4 to 5 times the amount of membership. But the ones that really care and get involved and really succeed, in fact, more dealers that succeed after 10 years are because of the education they got through either NIADA or their state association. Now there's other options out there, but gaining that education. So providing that to your dealers, working with your vendors to create a value for them, a value for your members first, that has reciprocity between all to grow the value of membership within your association. And things like that. It was really nice to sit down with everyone else, hear ideas of how they did it. Things as simple as fun stuff. We do golf games. I'm doing a poker game January 20th. If you guys can make it out, it's gonna be, see how I plug that.
Plug that January 20th.
Yeah. January 20th at Metro Auto Auction. Yep. So that's another revenue generating event, but not all of them are educational. That's just fun. We have an open bar. I've got my buddies that bring out their pit barbecue, and we have some barbecue and play some poker. So sharing those ideas, and in the Leadership Symposium, though, it was a binder. It was a lot of information. A lot of it's your fiduciary duties, legal responsibilities, things of that nature. And it's important that when you join a board and get involved, and you're going to take on a role, whether it's just a board member or you work your way up into one of the officers' roles, that you're aware of what it is that you're there to do. And it's not always just talking about cards or steering. You have duties you're responsible for. And associations, nonprofits, they have to be run a certain way. You have to keep minutes and file your 990s for your nonprofit tax stuff. So it's important that we teach these up and coming leaders the things I didn't know when I got on this board 8 or 9 years ago. So
was the term Robert's Rules of Order something that was?
Oh yes, it is. I actually paid for a class on that long before I got where I am now, so I would understand a lot more.
Well, it's for anyone who has like meetings with multiple people and decision-making meetings. That's a really great thing to understand that. So is this something that is going to be happening every year? Is this something that is going to be moving forward for like this, the training and the symposium? What's the plan from now on?
Well, with being the new guy on the board at NIADA, I don't have the exact answer, but yes, there will be board training continuously from the first one we just had going on. What that looks like and where it's at, it may evolve and develop just like the President's Council kind of evolved in the 20 group. And we continue to grow everything we do. So if you do the same old thing over and over, some things aren't going to change. Robert's Rules hasn't changed how many years.
Yeah.
But as we grow up, yes, I see quite a bit of education coming for our boards, just like we educate dealers in the future.
Nice. So yeah, I think I just want to make sure that for our listeners who might not be familiar, that's the board itself is, as a board of directors, really the executive director reports to the board, right? The board is their boss, essentially.
Correct.
And I'm guessing the board is primarily dealers, or can there be people on the board who aren't dealers?
You can. In some states, including ours, we have some industry partners. We've got auction executives or prominent vendor people that want to be involved. There's different voting rights depending on how your state's bylaws are put together, but it doesn't have to be all dealers.
So, and I'm just trying to understand, where is the association from Hawaii? Why are we not hearing from Hawaii?
Yeah.
I tell you what, he John out there, I think it's John Cadell. He's the president and the executive director, and there's only a handful of dealers in Hawaii. I think in 2019, they had all 7 of them flew out for the convention. That was neat to see them there.
Oh, wow.
But it's a small, they're there, and we hear from them in the President's Council, but I would like to go there and visit them, though. I don't know if we can arrange to meet you guys there and do that.
Yeah.
Hey, what time would the morning show be in Hawaii?
Oh, wait. Yeah. They're catching a recording. I mean, we've put it out there before. Any dealers in Hawaii will give you a really great discount for on-site visits.
I got to give John a call this week anyways. He's in my region 4, so I'll put that out there for you.
Would you?
That's
we
awesome.
Appreciate you. So
yeah. We'll even put on a class or something. Right. Yeah. Get us out there.
We get Jim Rhodes in a grass skirt doing the hula.
Oh, that sounds like it.
See,
It'd be fun. It could be fun. It could be fun. I like that idea.
Yeah. So, Jared, you've heard us say, and we continue to tell everybody that we know. And by the way, we just really have enjoyed working with a lot of the new, executives at NIADA. Some really great people that have been brought onto the team in the last year, and we're enjoying working with them. And we've said to them, and we said to you and the other board members we know, wherever Jim and Michelle can help the state and national association, we're going to do that. I'm going to continue to sneak in subliminal messages into the morning show to get people to join the association. So I may have done a couple already this morning. You don't know, but you can see,
if you have a strong desire right now to join your state association, you're not already a state association, or you just have more desire to participate. It's Jim.
Or I can just tell you, Jared, if at the national level, if you guys see a spike in membership, it just very well
subliminal messages.
Very well be the subliminal stuff.
It's the voodoo that you do, buddy. Well, I'll tell you this: it's never been easier to join your state association. NIADA has streamlined that through the NIADA.com website. One membership, so whatever state you're in, when you join your state, the state joins in the NIADA. But now NIADA has made it really simple. You go right to their website, you click on your state, and you can join right there. So it's never been easier to get involved and get that. And then once you do that, you get a login, and the resources in that page and things inside there for members are of great value.
Sure. So any initiatives for the National Association that come to mind? Are you aware of anything they're working on? Obviously, we saw that safeguards rule just got kicked down the road a bit.
A little bit. I mean,
we know
just the certification part. Yeah.
I'm seeing news about catalytic converters. That's a big buzz thing with a lot of dealers out there. Anything else as a particular initiative that you see for the coming year?
Looks like my buddy Troy beat me to it. NIDA has provided a phone app. It only works on Androids though. Sorry.
Oh, I'm
just kidding.
Well, then there's only like 30% of dealers that can.
Right. Is that it? Yeah, with your poll. NIADA is providing an app to all the states. They're currently rolling out state by state in order that they signed up. And of course, Arizona, our executive director, is just as passionate and involved as I am, Dave Workington. So we were the second one to get it. You guys were at our conference there.
Yeah.
They rolled out an app that's amazing. All of your discount punch cards for auction will be built right into the app. Right. So you don't have to worry about losing however your state did it before. And that's a fantastic value. And it's a really neat app. I mean, I normally get apps for stuff like that, like, oh, it's a really neat app and very interactive with groups, and you can meet up and talk and create chat rooms, kind of similar to a Facebook type deal. So NIDA put a lot of time and effort into that. You were talking about staff. Troy, I keep seeing him pop in there. I got to meet a lot of the staff while we were there for the first time in person, and some for the 5th, 6th, 7th time. NIDA has brought on just a top-notch quality of staff. You guys are talking about Washington things there. We've got Brett Scott Washington, amazing mind and just amazing guy. And so what NIDA is working on right now, and we've had a lot of questions and requests for this, is bios. And whether it's going to be a digital bio like we're doing here, or written bio, for all our staff, so you can get to know who it is that's working for NIADA. And Jim, to your point earlier, like you said, we have an executive director in every state nationally, and then they have however many employees or no employees, depending on the state and the size. The executive director is the only employee of the board, but it is nice to meet the staff when you have that going on and get to know who's really behind the scenes. So yeah, we're gonna make sure everyone knows who's at NIDA, who's working there, a get to know them segment. And Troy and I, who keeps popping there, we've got some great ideas to have some fun with it. I think you guys know I don't take myself too seriously at most times, and I like to have a lot of fun. So yeah, Jim's like, not you.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen a serious side.
Yeah, not at all.
Life is meant to be fun.
If the world could see the text message streams that were going back and forth this morning.
Yeah, don't go there.
We actually will probably hear a little bit more from Troy. We have an opportunity to chat with him.
Let's get him on the morning show.
Oh
yeah.
We've had Jeremy on.
And I was just like, to get the word out there about the new app too,
right?
And then
of course.
Be able to
absolutely
get people excited about that.
We're happy to do anything. We understand the value of the state associations, and we want to see folks get involved in that. We know that they can see some tremendous ROI. They can, and that part aside, it's just an opportunity to step in and have a legacy impact, leave it better than you found it. And so
that's exactly how I do it, Jim, is to leave it. Say, when I go hunting dove, I like to pick up more shells than I shot. I just want to leave it better for the next guy and leave it in the hands and teach the next generation to do the same thing. If we do that, they're going to continue to grow, and the resource will become more and more for small dealers like me. In the 22 years I've done this, I've had some struggles, and the education was out there. It was harder to find. NIDA has made it a lot easier to find. The states have put a lot of effort in it to make it easier to find. And that's, again, another benefit of being a member. It's part of the community.
And one of the things we have, obviously, in the used car industry is there's a bit of a stigma that we have to overcome. We have to make sure, and of course, part of what we try to do with the White Hat Way is spotlight on dealers out there that are really doing business right. And we know there's a ton of them. It just doesn't get talked about enough, right? So that's part of what we enjoy doing, and we meet these folks all over the country. Like, they're just, the perception of the used car dealer, I think, is often unfair. And while there are certainly some unscrupulous dealers out there, we just meet a lot of them that, really try to take care of their customers and do business right, and been in business for decades. And so that's what we like to just try to do anything we can from where we are to help, spread the word about those folks. And we look forward next to spreading word about the people in Hawaii. That's all. I'm just saying that's the theme of the day.
Does Puerto Rico have?
Right. That's the subliminal message there again? Is that what just happened? For some reason, I feel the need to go to Hawaii.
And Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico,
yeah.
Anywhere with you guys is a fun time.
Thank you.
We would feel the same way about hanging out with you too. So
in Hawaii.
Right. That's my favorite idea.
And I just want. I'm not a dealer. I'm married into buy here, pay here, but just knowing what it is that you have been able to lead the charge to do for the association, I just thank you. I understand the behemoth that can be NIADA and state organizations, and that NIADA kind of like lost track of the different presidents, and I mean, because it changes all the time, but that there had been a bit of a losing track. Thank you for taking the initiative to find everybody and try to bring them in, and I
that's about where it ends, though, Michelle. NIADA did years ago, and there's still a little bit of stigma left from that. But as people realize that the unity and the more the NIADA has become state centric, a few years ago, I never thought I'd be sitting on the national board. I'm still on.
Still, it's like the present and forward is such great stuff that's happening.
Yep.
So yeah,
NIADA really got behind the states, and as far as bringing the presidents together, I made some phone calls. NIADA opened the door to bring us together. It was getting in touch with them. I made some phone calls. After that, we've got a great leader right now who's the chair of the President's Council, Tim Gaylord, out of Colorado.
Yeah.
He's done. It's again, Jim, like we just said, leave it better than you found it, and find someone to do it better than you. Tim has just taken it to the next level. We came out with guidebooks for all new state presidents, whether you come to the meeting or not. All sorts of resources for presidents to be able to log in and get that. We have Scott Shook from Ohio, good buddy of mine. He's the vice chair, so he'll be taking over after the conference in June of 2023. And I can just see the legacy, and this is not me, it's the presidents that are here right now. This first generation of presidents in this group, whether they know it or not, the legacy that we leave behind with this is that presidents now will have those resources that us as dealers go to get education. There wasn't that for association dealer side. There is for association management. Executive directors can get trained. There's no one to really train, especially car guys, to follow rules most of the time, but to come together and be better and work together to build things better. So the legacy that all these presidents left behind was coming together this first time. So it's not just me, it's a team.
A room full of dealers. I mean, my hat's off to all those that put on big events, because it's like herding cats. Right. Like all kind of like and doing their thing and all that.
So I think we can wrap it up by just saying I know Jared well enough to know that he's humble. He's giving credit to the team of people, but let me just tell you, the guy worked his butt off to bring the Leadership Symposium together. So hats off to you, buddy.
And also for the state convention or the state conference, I'm just watching you like really step in and just helping anywhere and everywhere that you possibly could. Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Yeah.
And then also Tim Gaylord and Scott Shook, if you're listening.
They don't listen.
I know, maybe.
Tim might be up. Well, Scott's a few hours. This was early. I'm glad time changed, that we're a little later in the morning than we were a few months ago. But yeah.
But if for both you and Tim and Scott, if there's anything we can do to help,
of course,
let us know. We'd be more than happy to step.
You guys are the best, and it just as you're talking about me, you guys have been phenomenal in this, and I know the partnership that you guys have with the states and the state leaders that you've made, and I hear it all the time. The conversations you guys have with dealers, and I know you guys run a consulting agency aside from the fun stuff you do on here, but the amount of information that you help dealers with, you guys are wonderful in this industry, and that's why everyone loves you. One of you is my favorite morning show. We'll figure that out as we go. But
I think I should announce it.
Well, I mean, until we started this Apple Android thing, I thought I was the one that was the favorite.
Right.
And then you ruined it. By,
It's the only thing that's keeping me from being completely perfect. I guess.
Oh, is it?
No. So far from it. So, all right. Well, Jared, have a great Friday. Thank you so much for joining. And if anything we can do to help.
Well, I'm always happy to join you guys anytime. And for our listeners, if you're not joined yet, NIADA.com, join your state association.
Please.
All right.
See what I did there? I did that again.
It wasn't even subliminal. It was like,
I know. I'm not as good as Jim. And if you're from Hawaii, give Jim a call, please.
Classes. You can join later.
Get out the checkbook, the debit card.
All right. We'll see you later. Thanks, Jared.
See ya.
Oh, goodness. It's
fun.
Always a pleasure to have him and have a conversation. He's just got so much great energy.
Yeah.
And it was kind of fun to watch him bebopping around with Bill in their big 10-gallon black hats
they brought
and stuff.
Of course, Jared's in a hat a lot. Bill showed off his hat at the
Bill Elizondo. He's the lead moderator for 20 groups. Or he's a lead moderator. Lead moderator for 20 groups for NIADA.
Yeah, there's also Benny on a stick.
There's also Benny on a stick, and we're going to try to get Benny on a stick on the show one of these days.
For sure. Yeah, he's booked up. I mean, he's popular. So
it's thank you, Bill, for that.
Right.
Just a quick Monday.
Amanda Sanchez.
One of the cool cats too. Amanda Sanchez will be joining us. We're going to be talking a little bit more about.
Is Hugo going to come?
Hugo, you're welcome
awake,
too. Oh yeah, absolutely. We like because this could be like this thing, like the four of us, and just kind of have some fun and all that fun.
Yeah.
All that jazz. So Monday will be Amanda, and then we head into lots of travel time. So make sure that you guys, as you're driving or traveling to and from for families on Wednesday, listen in. 9 a.m. Eastern, and then we will be live on
Monday.
Friday.
Yeah, on Monday we'll have Amanda help us map out the turkey thawing schedule. We'll make sure isn't it time to do that? So.
Yeah, I don't know. I have, I haven't cooked a turkey.
Oh yeah.
In probably a decade.
I just usually
because my brother used to work for Traeger, and so when I'm with my side of the family, Thanksgiving, he always brings the turkey. I haven't had to cook a turkey in it for forever. So, all right, everybody, have a great weekend. Just so grateful that you all are here, and we will catch you all on Monday.
Bye.
Bye.